8 Golden State Warriors who might not be back next season. The Golden State Warriors season came to an unceremonious conclusion on Friday night, eliminated by the Los Angeles Lakers in a series where the defending champions had their fair share of chances. After what's been an up-and-down, roller-coaster season for Golden State, attention now turns to an off-season full of intrigue and some uncertainty. Hamstrung by financial capacity and the diminished value of some of their contracted players, the Warriors may have a tough time rebuilding from what was ultimately a disappointing season. Check out 8 players who may not be on the Golden State Warriors next season. 1. JaMychal Green. After being bought out by the Oklahoma City Thunder during the offseason, JaMychal Green didn't quite have the impact he or the Warriors would have hoped for when he signed at the start of last August. The 32-year-old spent multiple stretches of the season outside Golden State's rotation, and wasn't aided by minor injury and health concerns. He made a surprise start in Games 2 and 3 against the Lakers, but that ultimately didn't pay off despite early success. Billed as a suitable replacement for Otto Porter Jr. and or Nemanja Bjelica from the Warriors' championship-winning 2021-22 squad, Green didn't quite have the same veteran impact as that aforementioned duo. An average of 6.4 points and 3.6 rebounds on 37.8% three-point shooting wasn't a disaster, though it's unlikely that the franchise brings him back for a second season. 2. Donte Iguodala. A legend of the franchise, Donte Iguodala's 19th and final season in the league didn't quite go to plan. Golden State tried to nurse him through the regular season and manage him carefully, but 2 separate returns were met with injury shortly after. 3. Anthony Lamb. One of the surprises of Golden State's campaign, Anthony Lamb seemingly came from nowhere to play a big part in the team's regular season. After signing a 2-way contract just before the commencement of the season, he would average 6.7 points, 3.5 rebounds and shoot 36.7% from deep in 19.3 minutes across 62 games. Lamb's impact led the Warriors to converting his deal to a full contract after the 50-game limit, yet the 25-year-old was completely shunned from Steve Kerr's rotation come playoff time. Given Golden State's struggles to find a three-point shooting forward during the postseason, his axing came as a slight surprise and might be an indication that the franchise has no plans for him moving forward. Four. Draymond Green. Draymond Green is the Warriors' biggest issue heading into the offseason, with the 33-year-old holding a $27.6 million player option for 2023-24. If he chooses to opt out, Green will become an unrestricted free agent, which opens the door for other teams to make their case. After a tumultuous training camp that was self-inflicted through his king hit on Jordan Poole, Green had a positive season that saw little sign of him slowing down like many had predicted. It makes him an attractable proposition for playoff teams needing his blend of elite defense and playmaking, though those same teams are unlikely to have the financial capacity to offer him anything substantial. Warrior fans shouldn't be overly concerned if Green does opt out of his player option, with the most likely result seeing him simply renegotiate a new contract with Golden State. That's likely to be a 3 or 4 year deal at $20–25 million per season, but the franchise could still lose their 4-time champion if they don't come to the table straight away. Five. Donte DiVincenzo. After 12 months of dealing with injuries and bouncing from Milwaukee to Sacramento, it felt as if Donte DiVincenzo found a home at the Warriors during the regular season. His consistently high-level three-point shooting and tenacious defense became a valued part of the Warriors' setup, particularly given the absence of teammates that saw the 26-year-old start in 36 games during the regular season. That same shooting and defense didn't quite translate to the postseason though, diminishing his playing time and leaving an intriguing decision to be made on his $4.7 million player option for next season. Six. Jordan Poole. A horror close to the season for Jordan Poole, whose future is now in question despite having yet started a 4-year, $128 million contract extension. In hindsight, the Warriors should have waited to get one more season of data before signing Poole to that kind of deal. If they had, how much could they have saved? Perhaps half of what they're now committed to. Golden State will now spend over $120 million next season on 3 guards, 2 of which can be inconsistent with their shooting and production. Something has to give, particularly when the franchise wants to retain key players like Draymond Green. Poole is clearly the high-salary Golden State can most afford to lose, but the issue is finding a taker for what is now one of the worst contracts in the league. The Warriors may have to push ahead with Poole for the moment, but that doesn't mean that trade conversation won't take place. 7. Jonathan Kuminga. A season of exciting improvement for Jonathan Kuminga that ultimately finished on a major disappointment. Having been a crucial part of the Warriors' regular season, the second-year forward was sensationally axed from the rotation come playoff time. 8. Ryan Rollins. You could argue that the Warriors' roster issues begun when they took 2 selections in last year's NBA draft. That's nothing against Rollins, the second of those picks, but having 6 players 23 or younger was never going to be conducive to winning back-to-back championships. Rollins had some impressive performances in the G League but failed to have any impact with Golden State before suffering a season-ending foot injury in early February. He has a $1.7 million deal for next season, and a partially guaranteed contract for 2024-25, but that's easy enough for the franchise to trade or buy out should they wish to use his spot on a more experienced option. Thanks for watching.